Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of factoring trinomials. This is standard A.10E in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 50 of the Redesign Practice Online STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a trinomial here, and we know it's a trinomial because it's got 3 terms right there, and that prefix tri is what gives us that term 3. And so it's in the standard format that we need, ax squared plus bx plus c. So I'm going to rewrite it underneath here, so obviously the x's are k's. That's fine. So I've got k squared, and I've got a minus 5k, then I've got a minus 6. And if I really wanted to, I can say this is a plus negative 5k and a plus negative 6. The reason why it might be easier to think of it that way is because I need all 3 terms. I need the a term, I need the b term, and I need the c term in order to factor this. So the a term, there's just nothing there. It's invisible. When there's nothing there, you can always assume it's a 1. The b term is going to be this negative 5, and you might be able to see it as a minus 5, or sometimes it's easier to rewrite it as a plus negative 5. And the sign really matters, positive or negative. Same with this c. c is a negative 6. You can see it either minus 6 or maybe a plus negative 6. We need that negative 6. So I've got my 3 terms. We're going to solve this using the diamond method. It's not the only way to solve it, but it is highly effective. You should be familiar with it. So what we do here is on the very top, we were going to write a times c. So it's going to be 1 times negative 6. So I'm going to write a big negative 6 here. Now, since our leading coefficient, that a term, is just 1, sometimes we can kind of eyeball this and figure out what the 2 factors are. I'll show you the full diamond method, in case you want practice with that, because it always works. So b, we just write our b term, so negative 5. So on the left and right, I'm going to write ax and then over factor. I'm going to make it look like a fraction, even though I'm going to end up writing it as a binomial. Because what I want here is I want my a term, which is just 1, so I'm going to write it, I'm just going to ignore it. It's going to be x over x over. So we don't really do much with these 2 sides here. We're just looking for our factors. But if this a term is something other than 1, sometimes, if you write it right here in front of the x, sometimes you end up simplifying. And so that's why it's important to write it over here on the sides. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 5. So I want to multiply to the top number, add to the bottom number. Well, there's not that many factors of 6. And it's not just 6, it's negative 6. Right? So the only way to get to 6 is 1 and 6, 2 and 3. But since I am trying to multiply to negative 6, that means one of these factors is going to have to be positive, one is going to have to be negative. And I need it to add to negative 5. So I need 2 factors that are 5 apart. So that means I'm dealing with this. Those 2 are 5 apart. And since I need it to equal negative 5 when I add them together, the larger one needs to be a negative. So if I were to multiply 1 times negative 6, that gets me my negative 6. That's good. If I were to add 1 and negative 6, let's add those right there, then I'm going to get negative 5, which is what I want right there. So those are my 2 factors. I've got a 1, I've got a negative 6. There's no a term to try to simplify, so that's fine. So I simply write x plus 1, and then x minus 6. And since they're not x's, they're really k's, I can just rewrite it like that. K plus 1, k minus 6. And if we want, we can, FOIL it out, right? K squared minus 6k plus k minus 6. Those become a minus 5k. So we get back to, what we started with. And so we see that our answer here is going to be C.